We do things the hard way. We get there in the end, but it's Norwich 1, it's Leeds 2, and it is your live post-match reaction. The first of these we've done, Chris, where we've won the game. It is third time lucky. We've won the game, mate. How are things?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, just relieved because that was, well, for 55 minutes, that was dreadful. Dreadful. It was hard. It was a hard watch.
It was a classic game of two teams that are down there, wasn't it? You know, there wasn't much quality on show today. Well, there was one bit of quality. It was Rafinha. I think ultimately he was the difference maker because he produced that one moment of quality. I think both of the other two goals were complete and utter, for want of a better word, cock-ups, really. One from Kabak, one from Meslier. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about the game itself then. Look, it was just all about winning today for me. I will still say that now. Maybe would have wanted it to be a little bit more convincing. I think there wasn't much between the two teams for much of it, but performance-wise, any sort of positive from the actual performance itself, Chris? Anything that particularly impressed you at all from us today?
There were bits, mate. Of course there were, but I think we need to be careful here. It's 3 points, and we go, do you know what? Great, we've won. That papers over the cracks a little bit because for 50 odd minutes we were dreadful again. And it's the basics that are looking worrying for me. The press isn't working properly, or didn't work properly to start with. Well, certainly first half. Like at one point, Rafinha pressed the keeper and no one followed him. And the keeper had an easy knockout, I think, to the left back, and they went on the attack again. So some of the fundamentals of how we play don't seem to be clicking at the minute, and I don't understand that. But look, 3 points is 3 points. Rafinha, we're very much in danger of becoming a one-man team here at the minute. We just look for Rafinha because he seems the only one who's on current form capable of doing anything. I thought Calvin was poor today. I'll put it down to ring rustiness for one game, but he needs to quickly improve on what we saw today. We were far and away a better team when Adam Forshaw came on and bolstered that midfield. We looked semi-solid then when Forshaw came on because, again, first half, the midfield was non-existent. It really was. Forshaw he just can't. He does everything. He does all the simple things well. Puts his foot on the ball, finds an easy pass, and just calms the play down because even at 2-1, it was frantic at times, and it doesn't need to be that way. But positives, a win's a win. And if we hadn't won today, I was resigning and just going into a hole somewhere and coming out next season. But I think on the other hand to that, mate, is I think a lot of fans expect us to go down to Norwich and wallop them. They were always going to be up for this after getting stuffed by Chelsea. Always. And they were always going to come at us hard. And they did in the first half. But that extra bit of class we've got in like Rafinha and stuff showed out in the end. So just about scraped it over 90 minutes, I think, performance-wise. But not a lot to shout about either. We shouldn't get overexcited.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm back. There's a couple of things, to be fair, you picked up on there, mate. That exact same as me. Certainly that Rafinha moment where it was just Rafinha who tried to press the goalkeeper and the rest of the team's kind of like on the halfway line kind of thing. It was a bit of a strange approach from us. I did think at the very least today, look, the win's a win. The win's fantastic. 10 points from the first 10 games sounds a lot better than 7 from the first 9. No doubt about it. But yeah, I did think at times in that first half we were very cautious, to be honest. I think we were very risk averse in that sort of first certainly first half an hour of the game. Big welcome to Joe, my man Joe Wayman. But yeah, in terms of the one-man team thing, I think it did look like today, in terms of in the final third especially, the only real moment the quality was coming. And that is the way it kind of felt for much of the game. It was only really Rafinha who was producing the moments of quality. Very good point about Forshaw. I did feel, though, to be fair, the last 10 minutes I thought were going to be really nervy. I thought Norwich are going to have to throw absolutely everything at us now. You know, balls in the box, shots from distance, everything. They're going to throw everything at us now in this sort of last 10, 15 minutes. But I thought we actually weathered that pretty well. I never really felt when we went 2-1 up that it was going to go to 2-2. They certainly didn't respond to that second goal like they did the first goal. I thought they responded really well to that. Obviously, they get themselves the equaliser quite early on. But let's talk about the system itself then, Chris. Obviously, I couldn't work out the system we were playing today. It looked like Harrison was up top at times today with Rodrigo in the 10. I don't know if you agree with that, mate. It did look like that was the case. And James left, Rafinha right, and the rest of it kind of takes care of itself.
Certainly first half, because I think they showed pitch positions about 30 minutes into the first half on Sky, and Harrison was the person furthest forward the most. So, but I think that comes down to his pressing. I think the way Harrison presses, and let's not beat around the bush. Jack Harrison was nowhere near Jack Harrison today. He was some of his passing. I mean, he put Pookie through at one point with a great ball. But I think that's why Bielsa played him where he did, because he's a good presser of the ball. If nothing else, you know you're going to get absolute maximum effort out of Jack when we're not on the ball. But yeah, I don't know, mate. It was a strange one. It's just like you said, it screamed of it being a relegation game, as in two teams at the bottom of the table. No one wanted
to. Passing though, mate, from both teams. I mean, Norman at one point decided with his left foot to try a Zinedine Zidane pass out Bielsa. Calvin sprayed one to absolutely no one on the right wing. Some of the passing was just absolutely bizarrely. Some of the selection was just, and the amount of times it felt like the defenders for both teams were the best playmakers on the pitch. Yeah. Kabak was our best playmaker on the day. I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was watching from him. But
he turned into prime Zidane, didn't he, for our second goal, trying to do a 360.
What is he thinking? But what are they thinking? That's the thing. It's a game that both teams has to win, and I just thought some of the risks that both teams were taking was bizarre. We ultimately made less mistakes, I felt. But yeah, I mean, look, let's talk about the goals themselves. Look, the Rafinha goal. When you've got a special player in your team, you can give you moments like that out of nothing.
Yeah, Rafinha's goal is all about his first touch. It's he just kills that ball from Dan James, which the defender's still coming at him, and he can just drag it back inside him. And then he took another touch. I thought it was one of them. Oh, here we go. He could end up running right across the box and then, fluff a shot. But Rafinha, being Rafinha, does the right thing at the right time. I said to Joe, because I was on Joe's chat for the watch along, and I said, that just sums up our season so far. Rafa taking Bielsa out.
He didn't look happy, did he, Bielsa? Right? It wasn't like it was a bit of Brazilian-Argentinian rivalry between the two there, possibly.
That's Rafa dropped for Leicester, isn't it?
I know. Deary me. But it summed it up. It summed up the game. It was just a game of chaos. Yeah. I mean, the goal we gave away, though, mate.
Oh, mate.
If we hadn't have won the game, Illan Mellier's Twitter would be getting a lot of... I don't think Illan Mellier would be able to log into Twitter for a week. I'm not making a joke out of that. I'm just being honestly true. I think he would have got that much stick for that goal. But ultimately...
It was Kiko, wasn't it? It was Kiko-like.
Yeah. The pass wasn't on in the first place. Shackleton stood behind the line. He's not even stood on the line. He stood behind the line. So if you're trying to pass the ball to Shackleton, it's got to go out of play. But look, it happens. Mellier's covered us enough times. But then what I want to talk about as well is the set piece as well. Llorente loses this man ultimately.
Yeah. We're so bad at that. We seem to be clueless when it comes to it. And it's not as, we're not talking beginning of last season where every cross that came in seemed to go in the goal. But, Diego Llorente is better than that. You can't lose your man like that. And then I think him and Dallas had a word with each other. Like he'd looked at Dallas to say, "Well, I passed him on to you." Well, no, you didn't. You lost.
You definitely didn't, Diego. You definitely didn't, lad. We could all see it. You could in like the 80s and that lot when there was no camera coverage and no one was watching. No one could get the highlights. You can probably get away with that, making an excuse like that. But we can all see it from all angles. Diego, you're looking this way, mate. Your man's running that way. You notice at the last minute. We all saw it, mate. We all saw it. You lost your man. But look, again, Llorente's been superb for us. And I've got to say, just on the topic of Llorente, I was nervous in that first half when him and Aaron's had that collision. I thought, oh no. As soon as Llorente goes down, you're thinking, oh no. Oh dear.
Didn't look good.
But he was okay. He was all right. But yeah, the goal was down to him. But let's talk about the goal we scored for the winner. It all happens in like a 5-minute spell. Rodrigo basically just thinks. He just thinks, fuck this, I'm just going to go for it. Tim Krul's in goal, and then it back of the net. I mean, Kabak on that goal, dearie me, that was it wasn't like moments of quality. It was just moments of it was funny. It's like sometimes watching it, like some of the mistakes that were being made. It was you were genuinely laughing out loud. It was that bad from Norwich at times.
Yeah, no, it was dreadful goalkeeping from Krul, dreadful from Kabak to try and turn into Zidane. Pascal closed him down really well, nicked the ball off him, and then, like you say, Rodrigo's gone. Fuck it, I'm just going to hit this, and he catches it quite well, but Krul's got to be saving that all day. Michael, come on, man, we're not moaning, but we're being realistic.
I'm buzzing. I am absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
It's all about the win.
Dallas played well after 75 minutes when Norman had a go at him and Dallas got fired up. And I said straight away, I want to see that from Stuart Dallas. He went for him. He was like, yeah, come on then, let's have a ding-dong. I'm backing Stuart Dallas all day long in that face-off, by the way. And all of a sudden then I saw the Stuart Dallas that we know and love from last season, charging down the line, sliding into tackles. I thought, is that what Stewie needed? Someone just to get in his face and rile him up. So much better after that.
It's 100%. I actually thought Dallas was okay today overall. I thought Dallas did a decent job on that side. Not his usual standards, but yeah, I agree. After that moment, he did really get fired up, and I thought it was much better after that point. To be fair, let's have a look. Any other things to talk about? There's plenty more to talk about. What do you take from this, mate, then going forward into Leicester just before that international break? I guess in terms of, we're going to have to play better than that to beat Leicester, aren't we? Let's be totally honest now. Let's not beat around the bush. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear what I said then?
I think so. I think I got the gist of it, mate, yeah.
We're going to have to be better, aren't we? We're going to have to be like what we were against Wolves to win that game, surely.
No, mate, there's no doubting that we need to improve on what we've seen today to beat Leicester and just going forward for the rest of the season. Today still wasn't good enough as a 90-minute performance. It wasn't. And we looked nervous, and I think the players knew what a big game it was in terms of points. But, yeah, we've got to improve on that. Let's not let 3 points against a woeful Norwich team hide the fact that there is still some massive improvements needed in this team. Calvin needs to find form, and quickly. I'm going to put it down to a bit of ring rustiness. I just hope it's not him starting to believe his own hype, because at times today he couldn't pass the ball straight. Cooper was okay at centre-back today. I thought Llorente was okay, a couple of mistakes, looked a bit unsure at times, obviously lost his man. Shax was okay at right-back, right wing back, sorry. I thought Pascal had a decent enough game without, he stole the ball for the second goal. Dallas was okay and improved through the game. Who else are we talking? Rodrigo he frustrates me. I thought he worked hard.
That goal masks a lot, doesn't it? In terms of Rodrigo's general performance today, would you say? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, he worked hard today. I can't question him
on that. But it is 2-2 for Rodrigo, just to be slightly more positive.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, he's here to score goals. That's what we've been asking for, and he's got 2 and 2, no matter how they come. I thought it was the right decision to bring Tyler on when he did, just for that energy levels and to keep the press high and not let them run around, which they'd started to do on Rodrigo, run around him more and more as he tired. So I thought bringing Tyler on at that time was the right point. And he actually put Rafinha through with a lovely ball close to the end, did Tyler. The defender got back well. Meslier didn't really have anything to do, did he, apart from cock it up for their goal?
Yeah, exactly.
Harrison was miles off. I don't know if he's carrying an injury, but if he's carrying an injury, why is he playing? And I was watching people all through the game saying, Dan James is shit, Dan James is shit. I don't think he did too much wrong today.
There's a thing with Dan James where the last couple of games, if you want to criticise someone like Dan James in terms of his end product, you had some perfect examples like in the last 3. I think there's a moment in that first half where he had a chance to square Rafinha in for a one-on-one. He kind of didn't take it. He took an extra touch. He is a bit frustrating, Dan James, but I'd agree he's an exciting player to watch. He's someone that you think, you know what, if he gets himself a goal, gets himself an assist, puts a couple of games together, he's going to become a real force for this team. That's my general feeling on Dan James. He just needs that goal, and he does. Yeah. But I don't think he's been bad.
No, I agree.
For Leeds, so playing a factor.
No, I think he couldn't do much more for his chance in the first half where he's rounded Tim Krul and Hanley's got back. And then it's a great ball over the top of the defender for Rafinha to get his goal. So, yes, we want to see a bit more from him, but it's coming from Dan James. People writing him off saying, "Oh, have you got a receipt still? Can we send him back?" Come on. I mean, talk about knee-jerk reactions. And I think Dan James is going to be a cracking player for us. I do. I think, we criticised Bielsa, whether they were pre-planned subs or not against Arsenal. I thought the subs today were the right subs at the right time.
Totally. Certainly the Forshaw one, we've already spoke about. That one particularly was perfect. It stabilised the team for the last sort of like 20, 30 minutes or so. But yeah, the other ones as well were times of perfection. I think there was a lot of call for Gelhardt or Somerville to play. At half time I saw calls for them to come on, but that wasn't the right moment for him today. That was such a big game. I think you said it actually earlier in the week when I questioned, do we start Gelhardt or Somerville for this game? That wasn't the right moment, that game. It was just the stakes were too big. I think there was nerves about today for both teams. I wouldn't say, if you're going to say from Leeds that, you know what, they struggle against Norwich, they've got no chance against other teams, which I've seen, for want of a better word, some fans say that on Twitter. You got to factor in the nerves going into this game were huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was
compared to all the other the side of this almost.
Yeah, this would have felt. This would have felt to players today like a must-win game, and that adds pressure, a lot of pressure. And we got the 3 points, which at the end of the day we can criticise performances, but that's what matters. And we've got 3 today. I must say, shout out to Cody Drama again. I thought he was decent when he came on. He looks really comfortable at that right back spot, or right wing back as he was. The kid's got a massive future, and I think he's as close to that first team as Joffrey at the minute. I think Bielsa really likes Drama. I know Bill will be back soon, but someone saying Bielsa didn't look happy at the end. I think he was relieved. He was relieved.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen you do it before when we've had really, really tough games where you just thought, that kind of response to the end of the game. I won't read too much into that, to be totally honest with you. Let's have a look. Let's get some more. Well, to be fair, lads, we need to do better, but a win's a win. Sure, it's Norwich, but we still created a lot more than in previous games. Dallas did better too. I'd totally agree with that. But the win's the win. That's the thing. I don't know how many times I said that in the first 20 minutes, but I'm going to keep saying it. The win is the most important thing. We've seen other teams around us win this weekend. Burnley win. I'm trying to think who else got a result. Someone else got a result somewhere around us. I can't remember who it was. Someone did. Southampton won as well. The pressure was big today. Big time it was on today. And hopefully against Leicester. Again, that's a Sunday game. I don't like all these Sunday games with teams being able to play before us, but it is what it is. Oh, mate, it's just been the most stressful 90 minutes. It's just relief. It is just relief. I'm genuinely happy. But yeah, let's set some more comments in. Yeah, a bit of praise for Drama here as well off Sophie Taylor. Drama looks good. His little jump before he comes on, bless him. Yeah, I noticed that. What about that though, Chris? In terms of Shax's had to play like a minute injured before he came on.
What was the referee doing there?
Negligence.
What was the referee doing there? If they'd have, if I'm a Norwich player there, I'm going right. Hit that left hand side now.
Yeah, exactly.
Left hand side, because Shax couldn't run, and it's awful refereeing. Is that he was stood there? Cody's ready to come on. Just let the change happen. What if Shax busts a gut and runs an injury and then absolutely destroys whatever he's hurt? It's really poor refereeing. Is that?
Yeah.
It's really shoddy.
Could we actually, if Shax is badly injured, could we sue for that?
Yeah.
No, seriously. I mean, that's got to be a bit of neck.
Yeah, it's a referee is there. Part of a referee's role is to protect the players, right? That's why we have yellow and red cards for players doing stupid stuff and potentially putting another player at risk. Shax had hurt himself and was at risk, and the referees made him stay on the pitch. It's shocking. It's really shocking. I think he got a lot of shit with the referee first. I don't think he did much wrong first half. I thought we put in some stupid challenges. Calvin was cutting a frustrated figure. He looked happier when Forshaw came on. I think he likes having that bit of solidity around him. There's a big shout for me for Forshaw to start the next game with Calvin. There really is.
Yeah, I think it's a shout for it, but I think obviously it's already been mentioned. Leicester are 2 up top team, so we'll probably go for back 3 again. But I was personally, I'm not sure about the back 3 this season. I think a lot of our poorer performances are coming in that back 3. Southampton comes to mind, Norwich. What's the other one? There's another one as well. Burnley as well. Burnley, not particularly great performances. Albeit we got results in 2 of them. But yeah, I still play Forshaw and Phillips in midfield, even if we have to go 3-4-3. I think you've got to look at what they've done and just try and make that kind of change. But yeah, I mean, let's just before we move on to the next bit, you'll notice that it's normally 3 of us on this. Scotty has bottled it, basically. He's bottled it. But he has sent us in a reaction to the game, which I can play right now. Not a clue what this is going to be. So I'm just going to play this, guys. Bear with us 2 seconds.
What's a crack? Obviously, I'm not there with Oscar doing the post match. It's just went half time. So obviously, you're watching this, and whatever the score is, my half time reaction on this is not good. This is not good. This performance is telling me right now that the belief that we're on the level with Aston Villa, Palace, those teams in that sort of upper mid table, that performance is telling me the opposite. That performance is telling me, and I don't want to hear stats. I don't care about the stats, but they're putting up there. Rafinha's had 220 sprints. What's that got to do with assists and goals and getting points on the board? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That means nothing to anyone apart from people that enjoy looking at stats. I don't care about the stats. I'm looking at the facts of 0-0 at half-time against Norwich, who are arguably one of the worst teams in the Premier League ever. They're a yo-yo club. That we're expected to believe that this team playing right now wants to stay in the Premier League and wants to, in a couple of years challenge to be in Europe. I don't believe it. Don't believe it. As far as I'm concerned, that first half's telling me right now, relegation battle. It's time to accept it. I hope by the end of this match, I am feeling much different about it. Rafinha right now couldn't pass a Friday test in primary school. His passing has been shocking. So if someone wants to offer us 80 million for him, if that's how he's going to play when he's off, go for it. Calvin's been doing rightly. First 20 minutes, Llorente he was owned by Pukki. Cooper's been alright. Dallas been alright. Shaq's done well. Rodrigo just doesn't have that pace to make the passes. Dan James, so unlucky not to have scored. You have to give credit to Norwich there. The defender knew exactly what was coming. Dan James was scoring that, cleared off the line, so fair play. Harrison, for me, has been the worst on the pitch. Harrison's been awful. Absolutely awful. But look, that's what I
Clearly.
Some of those takes aged like fine wine, like the Rafinha one. I'm thinking, Scotty, no, don't do it.
You know that's getting clipped up with this age dwell.
Oh my word! I knew nothing about that, by the way, guys. I thought it was a full time reaction. Didn't realise it a half time thing Scott had put up. Yeah, Rodrigo and then Rafinha get a bit of stick there. But now, look, to be fair, at half-time, Chris, it wasn't good.
No.
But yeah, let's just have a little look. What else do we want to discuss here?
I've just got to react to something here, Oscar, because you know how I love being called out by people. The both of you just agree with each other, talk about the bigger picture. Clearly, you didn't tune in at the beginning, mate, where I said this cannot hide that we are still a million miles away from being where we need to be if we want to survive this season. It's a win against an absolutely shocking Norwich team. I said that right at the beginning, so not quite sure what you're on about. There you go, call out over.
To be fair, the worst in terms of bad takes was on the sprints. The sprints that's an excellent stat. He's like, what is he, 25 ahead? Now look, yeah. Scott, to be fair, at half time, that was all of us at half time, to be fair. That was all of us at half time. But maybe not the Rafinha bit. Maybe not that Rafinha bit. That was, I'll tell you what, that hurt that, Scott having a go at Rafinha. But then the sprints thing, to be fair, just shows defensively and going forwards how crucial Rafinha's work rate and quality is to this team, mate. Surely.
Yeah, it's 100%, mate. It's and this is a good point. The bottom 8 of this Premier League this season probably take out Norwich, but so the next 7 up, it's going to be tight this year. It really is. And people are going to pick up random wins. Palace winning 2-0 yesterday at Man City. That's a massive result. So this is why games like today against Norwich are so important, where if you don't take 3 points, it's a world of hurt. So the best thing is we've got the 3 points. Bielsa and his coaching staff will dissect the performance because he won't be happy with the performance, let's be clear. Certainly not the first half. But it is what it is. It's 3 points, and we can only play what's in front of us, and we can only beat what's in front of us, and we just about managed to do it today.
Well, I guess the elephant in the room right now for Leeds United is Patrick Bamford for me, because we all know we started Rodrigo, Rafinha, James, and Harrison today. Presumably, Chris, when Bamford's fit, he goes into the team. Who's coming out for you to accommodate, or at least one player's got to go out of the team? Who is that one player going to be for you, or who should it be?
At the minute, it should be Harrison. I don't think.
I'd probably agree with that. To be totally honest,
I don't think he's anywhere near at the minute, and I'm a massive fan of Jack Harrison. So, but going on form and form only out of that front 4, Rodrigo's 2 in 2, like you said. Dan James shows glimpses. Clearly, we can't drop Rafinha, so it's Jack Harrison for me who drops out. Rodrigo probably drops back to 10, and then Bamford back up front.
Well, let's have a look, guys, in the comments. Who should come out of the team? Who should come out of the team for Bamford to come in? But let's talk about Bamford himself then, whilst people are commenting that. The press is definitely Chris. That's become pretty blatantly obvious now.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear now that when we press, when they're deep, it's all triggered from Bamford. And without him at the front of that press, it looks really disjointed. So I think our game instant, we know how much from it, but everyone always goes on about, because the stats support it, that when Calvin doesn't play, we don't play as well and we don't get results. You could argue the same for Patrick Bamford. We aren't the same team even when we see him go off with 20 minutes to go in games, it's just not the same Leeds United because Paddy's not there doing what he does. So, yeah, we massively need Patrick Bamford back.
100% is a big one for us. But assuming that Shax is out for a while as well, with Ayling just about to come back, it's quite lucky timing, really. Do you see drama starting Leicester?
Probably at the minute, I do, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Ayling will be fully fit by then. I think he's borderline for the Leicester game. But for me, is he going to be sharp enough to go in against Leicester straight away? Probably not. So for me, Cody Drama's done enough in the game and a bit he's had. I think I'd trust him in there. I would.
What do you make to this comment then, mate? Obviously, Oh, hang on, not that one, not that one. I don't know who Dave is, but Dave, you make a good point, whoever you are. Yeah, Beelzebub. It's been a while since we've had a full 90 or a game where, for maybe Wolves, I can probably add into that. But this season, is it something that do you think it's a change in style from Bielsa, or it's just our general performance
I think
levels dropped off? Play as expansively anymore and play a little bit more, not defensive as such, but a little bit more, I don't know, less open as such. Do you think it's a style thing, or it's just because our performances are dropping off? What do you think it's down to?
I think it's performance related, man. I think to play Bielsa ball at the level he wants, you need, out of your outfield players, so no, all 11 players on the pitch, you need 9 or 10 of them to be bang in form. And when 4 or 5 of them aren't in form, it falls apart because so I think it's down to form. What I will say about we're not seeing about Bielsa ball anymore is what's happened to the overlapping fullbacks? What's happened to it? It's gone.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. It's definitely. I think certainly on the left-hand side, since Alioski's obviously moved on, we've not seen that kind of from Firpo when he's played. Obviously, Dallas a little bit more.
And I'm going to call it. We miss his energy on that pitch. We do.
I think certain games, I definitely agree. There's certain games, like the Wolves game last week, when it was all frantic and absolutely all over the place. Probably did, to be fair. A game like today, I wouldn't have fancied him in a high pressure situation like that game. In terms of, especially when it's all frantic and that lot. I don't know. Against Aaron's making some good runs. I don't think we missed him that badly today, but last week certainly I think we did miss him. But some people might disagree. You might disagree, mate. But I think Alioski, some games I definitely agree. Maybe that Newcastle game as well a couple of weeks back. But I still think Firpo will be the better of the two. I do think he might not be as energetic, but I think he'll still be the better of the two. I'm hoping.
I think it's just his energy levels we might miss a little bit. I don't know if he drove.
Do you think Harrison misses Alioski, as Andy suggested? Yeah,
100% agree with that. I think Harrison always looked comfortable with Alioski coming round the outside of him or doing the underlapping fullback thing. Harrison always had an option when Alioski was there, and it created more room for Jack Harrison. I do think he misses him. Yeah, I do. I completely agree with Andy there.
Yeah, it's just very true. As well, Firpo has to get fit first, and that's not.
He's having a standard start to a Bielsa.
He's been in and out a lot.
He's having a standard start to being a Bielsa player, isn't he? Come in, have 3 months off.
Yeah, you don't play the first 3 months either because you're injured or it's. Anyway, look, it's down to Junior Firpo to get himself fit for the team. Anything else to discuss here? Yeah, I mean, I guess the other point is obviously on the right-hand side. I do still think that Shaq's had a strong start to the season. I would still say that. But unfortunately, through no fault of his own, he might be about to lose his place in the long term to Ayling because he's simply not. I think to that, obviously, Ayling coming back into the team, Chris, is that help Rafinha, or does it make Rafinha's task a little bit more difficult, or about the same for you?
If the Ayling of the beginning of this season comes back in, it does nothing to help Rafinha. If it's
that was Ayling's brother. That was Ayling's brother.
If it's the Bill Ayling of the last couple of seasons, then yes, it does help Rafinha. I'm hoping this break will have done Luke Ayling the world of good. He's seen Jamie Shackleton putting in half decent performances, and he knows now he's under pressure to play well. And I hope when he does come back in, we see the Bill Ayling we know, because when he's on form, he's an absolute monster. We know he is. So fingers crossed we get the old Bill back. He gets close to Rafinha, gets round the outside of him, and because Rafinha's just tearing up trees at the minute, he absolutely is. And we need to give him as much room as possible to destroy teams, because he can't do it all on his own all the time.
What I would say is, though, out of the teams that are below us now, and there's obviously, thankfully, there's more teams below us than there was before. I don't think any of those teams below us have a Rafinha who can just win them a game like today. I don't think if any if the other teams below, they aren't winning that game. They wouldn't be able to scrap that game like we did today.
No, without a doubt, mate. We've got that bit of class with Rafa, definitely. He's I think
even KP I'd throw into that mix.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Of course, I'm a bit down on KP after his performance today, but yeah, generally, yeah, of course. But I mean, even Jamie Redknapp called it for Rafinha at full time. He went, one of the world's best at doing what he does. And you can't argue it, can you? You can't argue it. There you go. It's dropped right on point there, Max.
Well, that's it. That's what about appetite. What about that? What a name as well. That is Maximilian Redini. What a quality. I tell you what.
Competition there.
Giancarlo. I was about to say that. Giancarlo has now got competition. What a name that is. But yeah, it's true. It is true. Rafinha, he's not only one of the best wingers in this league. I think he genuinely is. There's a conversation to say that, wow, he's just so good. He's so good. And Maximilian follows it up by saying, "Go top 10. Can we go top 10? We can go top 10. We'll go top 10." But yeah, look, let's look at anything else we need to discuss here. Anything else you want to discuss, Chris?
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that stands out. No. I'm taking the positives from this game. I am. Rodrigo's 2-2. Drama looks really good coming in on the right-hand side. We're a far better team at the minute with Forshaw in there than without him. Let's hope he can stay fit and get more minutes under his belt, because I think he's going to be a real bonus. And then maybe Radrazani's tweak won't come back to bite him quite as much later in the season as it is at the minute.
We'll see. It's but look, Forsh made a difference today, and I will call him Forsh because you know what? I just feel like it. I'll call him Forsh rather than Adam.
Is his nickname Sausage? Don't they call him Sausage?
Is this a joke, Chris, or what?
No.
Am I about to fall
Do you not remember Calvin's teammates with Tubes when we first got promoted? And he said, "What's the funniest nickname at the club?" And he went, "Oh, we call Forsh Sausage," and no one knows why.
I was thinking, am I about to walk into something here? Am I about to walk into a Chris Kelly joke? But no, look, if his name's Sausage, his name's Sausage. Well played, Sausage. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Anyway, look, before we go, I've got some, well, not news as such, but I am taking part in Movember this year. I'm taking part in Mr. Wayman has started a Movember page. I think we're just under £100 raised already. There's Chris involved, Joe himself's involved, Gaz from Talking Shuts involved. We're all doing Movember. Chris, are you going to take part? Go on, lad. Go on.
No.
You look class doing that.
No. Oh. People with moustaches look like they shouldn't be hanging around anywhere near schools. No.
Deary me, that's exactly what you want to hear. That. But yeah, look, it's a great cause. It is a great cause in all seriousness, Movember. And check it out. But let's just see any other comments before we go. And yeah, check out the link as well. I've linked it up if you do want to donate to a fantastic cause that we are trying to raise for. He's got some of these comments coming in about Forshaw's sausage thing. Let's see, anything else?
Yeah, Gail's right. You know, the rumours in there that Nuno's gone.
Let's have a look. Yes, Nuno for the sack. Just before we go off, Chris, that's not too much of a massive surprise in terms of massive surprises, is it?
No, I think whichever manager lost that game yesterday was for the high jump, and Nuno lost it. And let's be honest, I mean, we can whinge as a club in our second season back in the Premier League. Tottenham have spent millions and hundreds of millions, and they were fucking dreadful yesterday. They made Manchester United look a good team, and they've been pants recently. And they made Man United look decent. They were dreadful, really bad. So I have heard that Nuno's gone, so that wouldn't surprise me if it's actually true.
Are these CK sources I'm hearing from?
No, they said it on Sky Sports before I logged on here.
Oh, see, I thought you had secret sources there. But yeah, look, it's not a massive surprise, is it? It's not a massive surprise at all. I'm sure the Spurs fans, once again, will be going into a massive thing about, let's get Bielsa in. That'll be the next thing for the next sort of 3 weeks whilst they ask about the next 200 managers to take the job, a pleader to take the job, and they end up appointing him. But yeah, look, let's see. Any other comments coming in?
Bring back Tim Sherwood.
Tim Sherwood. Yeah, that's a shout. But yeah, it'll be someone like that.
Here's a shout. Mr. Talksport, Jamie O'Hara talks a good game. Mr. X Spurs, get yourself in the dugout, lad. Let's see how good you go after getting Leeds off the stone shit.
Have you seen that Spurs midfield? He'd probably get a game at the minute. That Jamie O'Hara.
He's an absolute weapon, mate. Keeps going on about Leeds because he knows he'll get a bite. Get yourself in the dugout, O'Hara. Let's see how you go, mouthpiece.
So, Jamie O'Hara. Who else doesn't Chris like? I mean, no offence for anyone watching, but yeah. Anyone else you want to add to the list, Chris, to have a go at today? Daniel Farr.
Gabby Agbonlahor's
Gabby Agbonlahor. Do you reckon Norwich as well? Didn't Norwich the team that painted their dressing room a different colour against away teams or something like that?
Yeah,
they were, weren't they?
That's right. Did they paint it pink?
Well, that works, didn't it? That's been working for him this season.
Mate, let's be honest about Norwich. They've come up to go back down and take the money again. They don't even look interested in trying to stay up.
This is the best shout. Just to finish off, my man James, absolute legend in the South Stand. Lampard would be perfect. And on that note, I think we'll leave it there. But yeah, prepare yourself for another 3 weeks of nonsense stuff from Tottenham fans. We want Bielsa, etc., etc. You'll end up with Lampard or even Harry Redknapp. He'll come out of retirement, Harry Redknapp, to take the job. It will be something. With Tottenham, it will be banter of some sort. But we don't need to. We're going to leave it there, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the link down below for Movember, which you're obviously going to raise money for the next month or so. And yeah, we will leave it there, guys. See you later. See you later, guys.